Oh, yeah. You're going down, sis.
No! Not again!
Ryan! Kristen! Take out the garbage!
Mom!
No!
Take out the garbage or you're grounded!
1 minute!
That's it! You're grounded!
Mom! We'll get some ice cream. Welcome to Car Ride Convos Podcast, Grounded Edition. And today, we have absolutely nothing planned for you. There's absolutely nothing. We're just, we're chilling. We're here in Baltimore. We finally made it. I think by the airing of this, you'll probably already see the dumpster fire that was the New Jersey Turnpike. So, we're here.
Yikes.
We exist.
Yeah.
And, yeah. Baltimore's pretty great. We had a good little walk around today, and I'm also drinking Peabody Heights Brewery.
Peabody Heights.
Yeah, premium Old Oreo.
Old Oreo Park, not
Yeah.
Oreo.
Did you say Oreo?
I don't know.
I heard Oreo.
Ooh, Oreos sound good too.
That
Oreo
would be a good sponsor.
Oreos.
At this point, any sponsor.
Actually,
would be a good
Oreo with a
sponsor.
caveat: I will only accept sponsorships for your mint Oreos. Only Oreos I like.
They've got
Do
a
they
lot
do
of.
separate sponsorships for mint Oreos versus regular
Nope.
Oreos?
I'm just making shit up.
They have a lot of. They have like a peanut butter pie one out that I really want to
Peanut
try.
butter pie.
Peanut butter pie.
Yeah.
What is a peanut butter pie?
I don't know. I think it's like maybe like a chocolate peanut butter pie or something. Like half of it is like peanut butter frosting with like chocolate frosting in an Oreo.
Yeah. And today we are joined by Quinn David Furness of the Beantown podcast.
Yeah.
You know, best boy. I like that we even framed it up where you see the glorious tiger in the back.
Tiger blanket, baby.
Tiger blanket all the way.
Thanks to Stephen Furness for buying this from Kmart in the early 80s.
Yes.
yeah.
It's
Exactly.
legendary.
It's already up. It's going to be up tonight. Go check it out. We're on the Beantown podcast.
It's live now.
Yeah. This will come out way after this. You know how it goes.
I was going to say, that's like exhausting thinking about, like, he's just like, boom, it's up, and ours is like
Oh, yeah.
17 hours of editing.
Oh, yeah.
If you guys need to
later.
upload anything while you're here, just let me know.
Yeah. Oh, I know, right?
Oh, that too. Man, our internet is spotty.
Yeah,
AF.
our internet is bad.
Yeah.
Shout out to Old Boston Infrastructure for absolutely ruining the experience of using the internet.
Jesus.
It's killer, man. It's
And
killer.
not having, like, central air. What is with that?
I don't know. Yeah, what is up with the Northeast? Like, no central air, sometimes window units, sometimes, not all the time.
Right. Sometimes.
It's brutal.
It's insane. It's like it's hot here, but I feel like people act like it's not, which
Yeah.
is painful.
It's hot on this continent, you know? It's just
Yeah.
all around.
You know?
It's just, there's no escaping it.
No,
You know?
I know.
It's just like,
It's bad.
I went up to Canada and I'm like, oh, Canada, I'm going to enjoy Canada. It's colder there. It's hot in the summer in Canada, man.
Yeah, when were we in Montreal? That was relatively hot, wasn't it?
It was in the springtime.
Yeah.
Like, it was...
That was bad, too.
It was not good. Trudeau, man, what are you doing, man?
I don't
Why
know.
is it hotter up there than normal?
Get your climate under control.
Yeah, seriously, because you know America cares about climate change. Yeah. So, couple things. Observing this room. Great
Yes.
space. Didn't know Johns Hopkins was the Blue Jays. I thought that was just a Creighton thing.
Nope. Hopkins are the Blue Jays. Yeah.
Nice. Wait,
Interesting.
are Creighton the Blue Jays?
Sure are.
Okay. There's some blue bird. I don't know. But yeah. Yeah, great space. And you're about to hit the road, man.
I
You're about
am.
to hit the road. I know that you
Oh,
said you haven't
man.
posted on Facebook, but I would like to know, what is like tell me the cities.
I'll give you so I'm just playing baseball here on my iPad, don't mind me. So I'm going I just scored another run. It's another RBI. Let's see. I will be going to, flying into Chicago, start of September, and then I'm driving to Indianapolis for Labor Day weekend to be with some fantasy football buds. We're doing a draft. Then I work in Chicago for 2 weeks, and then I drive to Bowling Green, then to Louisville, and then Lexington, then Knoxville, then Chattanooga. Then I have a weekend to get from Chattanooga to Des Moines, which is like 11, 12 hours. So I think
Yeah,
I think I'm going to go to Rockford one of those days and see some people.
Oh, cool.
Then I'm in Des Moines. No, I'm in Cedar Rapids for a day. Then I'm in Des Moines for a day. Then I fly to Salt Lake City. I'm there for 3 days. And then I fly to Sioux Falls. And I drive from Sioux Falls to Minneapolis, to Milwaukee, to Indianapolis, back to Louisville. And then I fly to Baltimore on October 5th. And then I'm here for
Is it the whole
a
month of
week.
September?
I'm here for a week, and then I go back to Chicago for a week, then drive to Nashville, drive to Memphis, fly back to Baltimore right before Halloween, and I'm home.
Good
You rent cars? Is that what you do when you... Okay, wow.
Yeah.
That's brutal and fun, because the travel is a little bit fun, but also when it's for work, it's for work. You know what I'm saying?
Alone.
And it's alone.
Yeah.
It's alone.
So I did some quick math. I posted a Facebook status. I'm trying to remember exactly what it was, but it's something like 7 flights just on this first trip, the September one. 7 flights and 16 different hotels, which is it's for like 36 days, 16 hotels. It's like 12 cities, I think. You just heard me list all of them, and then the driving was a really rough estimate because a lot of it was just like, I'm going from Chattanooga to Cedar Rapids, but I'm going to different places in between.
Yeah.
It's around like 3,000 miles of driving on that
Wow.
first trip. So
Crazy.
it'll be a lot. It's good because I like driving. I just pray that no major car problems happen. Hopefully Enterprise will be good with support if they do. But yeah, it's exciting. The thing I'm most concerned about is like wearing the same clothes over and over again for 35 days. Not that I'm not going to be able to do
Yeah.
laundry, but it's just like I'm going to get sick of that stuff. So
Yep.
Yeah.
You should wear that.
just wear this all the time.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, what's up, kids?
Yeah.
Walking Baltimore advertising.
I know.
But yeah, it'll be good. My longest trip last year was 10 days. This one is 35, 36 days. So
35
it'll be a little bit different. But
Wow.
the nice thing is, I mean, I'll have about 2 weeks. So almost half of that time will be in Chicago, in the Chicago area, so I can like hang out with friends, see people, that sort of thing. Where it gets
Yeah.
tough is when I'm like in Knoxville for a day, then I drive to Chattanooga, drive to Lexington, like days where I'm not stopping to really see anything because it's like 3 hours in between those places.
Yeah.
Just like jumping to hotel rooms, eating really terribly.
Yes. Yeah.
You're
That's
just like
rough.
tired all the
Food is
time.
rough.
So.
So this might be a stupid question, but what, like, are you, when it's like a typical work day, like when you get to your location, what exactly do you do?
So a typical work day for my recruitment at high schools, I'll show up and I'll probably have about 4 or 5 different high schools that I'm visiting that day.
Oh,
So my
okay.
first visit might start at like 7:20 a.m. And I talk to the students about the university for 20 minutes. They ask me questions. I leave them materials. I go drive to my next place, and I do
Gotcha.
that 4 or 5 times in a
Oh,
day.
wow.
Whoa.
So
Oh, my God.
you make sure that you have your cough drops all
Yeah.
the time because you lose your voice,
Sure.
and a lot of coffee, a lot of like shitty hotel coffee, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
but I don't know, it's actually kind of nice because you end up saving a bunch of money because I'm not paying like any utilities here because I'm
Yes.
not here.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
I'm not buying any food on my personal card. It's all on my work card.
Yeah, uh-huh.
All the gas and stuff's on my work card. So there are some positives. You end up saving a ton of money because The only time I like spend my own money is if I want to go to like a Cubs game or something.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Otherwise, hotels, food, airfare. I'm not paying for any of that stuff. So, pros and cons.
Do they make you fly Spirit every time you go?
No, they don't.
Okay.
I mean, you work for some offices like that aren't as liberal with their money than they would. But I've flown Spirit for work a couple of times, just when it's like the most convenient thing. But I don't have any Spirit flights for this first trip, which was nice.
Who are you flying with?
Mostly United, some Delta.
Okay.
I think it's United and Delta. Maybe.
I've literally only ever had problems with like American Airlines. That's pretty much the one. Yeah, I've had like.
I think we've already talked about.
We
that
have,
on
and
our
I'm sure
podcast,
it's
the nightmares.
We've had crazy bad problems with American and Spirit. People talk really badly about Spirit, but you know what? You get what you pay for, and it's cheap. So. What else are you expecting?
I can see it as it makes sense for like flights that are under like 3 hours.
Yes,
I don't know if I could sit in a Spirit flight for right.
Yeah,
I
this,
know. I mean, like literally, there's a ticket in the middle.
This boarding pass is like, let's see, from Seattle to Baltimore, departs at 10:05 and gets to Baltimore at 5:57 a.m. Because Quinn just got back from Alaska, and then they went back down to Seattle and stuff, and it's just like. That is brutal. I mean, but you got to come home and you were exhausted, but you just plopped down.
Well, yeah, I was. That thought went through my head as I was physically walking up the stairs after my Uber ride. Is like, thank God today is a Sunday and not a Monday. Because if it was a Monday, I would just show up to work, and based on how work went for me this past week, it would just be like it was already hellish. If I was doing that on 2 hours of airplane sleep, like it would have been terrible. So no, I ended up being pretty refreshed by the time work started because I had a full day to sleep. So
yeah, and the crazy thing is that the flight time isn't crazy. It's like what 4.5 hours.
4.5 hours.
Yeah, 4.5 hours. But it's just you go through so many time zones that you get back here and it's a completely different world. You know, it's like
it's rough.
Yeah, because I mean, like, so you were talking about the light rail and stuff. The light rail runs to the local airport. You didn't take that home. You took an Uber because you knew. That was going to take forever to get home.
No, I didn't take it because it doesn't run.
Really?
That early on a Sunday morning.
Oh, wow.
You have to wait till about 10 o'clock in the morning for it to start running on a Sunday.
Wow, okay, that sucks.
Goes into Baltimore transportation, yeah.
Man.
There are physically no public transportation options at that time of day because there's light rail not running. There's a commuter rail that runs from Washington to Baltimore. First train would be at like 10:30 that morning. There's one bus that can get you like part way there, but it just doesn't run on Sundays.
Wow.
So it's Uber, cab, or bust.
Wow. That's like, I feel like Boston's kind of doing that. They've been kind of scaling back. Like the T, when we were there, ran until 2 a.m. or 2:30 in the morning. And now, last one out is 12:30
maybe, yeah.
And it's like, we're used to being places where the L is running in Chicago. It never stops, right?
I think most
Red
of them
and
are
blue
24 hours. Yeah.
The red and blue line never stop, which is
Yeah.
good. So those are like the backbones of the city.
Yeah.
I mean, you go to the Brown line, like that will stop at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
But it starts then again at like 6.
In New York,
still 2 a.m.
New York's subway system is super unreliable, but
I think
it does
all of
never
those,
stop.
Yeah, I think
they
all
never
of those
stop.
run on 24 hours. I think.
Which is just like crazy. So I can't imagine. Well, that kind of sucks. But I totally know that feeling of just like, not really, because I think the latest I've ever got back to Boston is like 2 a.m., which is not nearly close, but just that feeling where you're just dragging yourself up to your room and stuff and just like, oh man, I don't know. That's rough.
Yeah, mostly, I mean, you were mentioning this earlier, most of my flights from the West Coast end up being red eyes.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It's like, it's either, I mean, because that's the fastest way to do it. You either do that and you feel like hell the next day, or you spend your entire day, like, you might leave Portland at 9 a.m., but then you're stuck in Denver for 2 hours.
Or Salt Lake City. It's always one of those two. Or Minnesota
Phoenix,
or something like
Phoenix
that.
or Minnesota, You have like a 2 or 3 hour layover and then another flight. And then you get back and it's like 6 p.m. Well, by the time you get home, it's like 7 or 8. There's your day. Like, you just spend it in an airport. So you either spend your day in an airport or you spend a night or on an airplane. So
yeah, I know.
You can't really win.
Dude, it's crazy. It's so crazy. But
you did have TSA pre-check on that, though. So
I get TSA pre-check for work, and it's probably like the bougiest thing. I always feel a little bit guilty using it because I'm just like not a bougie person in general, other than this shirt, of course. But no, it is really nice. I mean, I can get through. There's a lot of airports you can get through really quickly without TSA pre-check, but it just amplifies it. Like I got through SeaTac TSA with my pre-check in, I think it was 52 seconds.
Whoa!
Wow.
Is close to my record. I think I got through BWI in 47 seconds one time. So that's the time to beat. But
that's crazy.
I feel like Chicago is one place that I would definitely want TSA pre-checks because I feel like I don't know how many other airports have this now. Is that if you have a checked bag, you have to like go to the counter, check it, but then you also have to send it through that other line that goes through a X-ray machine before you go through security.
Yeah, yes.
And you have to wait in that line first and then go through security, which is also another like at least half an hour.
Oh yeah, definitely. Which is just like
O'Hare is just a
dude.
bitch
It's crazy.
it's the second busiest airport in the world.
It's
so.
painful.
Yeah.
It is so painful going there.
It's wild.
What is the first one? LAX?
No, Atlanta.
Yeah.
Oh, Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Okay.
Yeah, Atlanta does all of the traffic out of there to Africa and a lot of Southern European cities and stuff like that. Internationally, they're just jacked. And domestically, I mean, how many times have you had a layover when you're flying down south to Atlanta? I mean, pretty much all the time. If you're going to South America, you're gonna have it. It's either that or Dallas Fort Worth is the other one that picks it up or something like that. Yeah, it's one of those two.
Those are pretty much the
Yeah, so super, super busy. And, but Chicago's crazy. I mean, Chicago is like...
I've had the most issues from O'Hare, for sure.
You
Gotten
broke...
stranded
yeah,
there.
you broke down in tears and swear words, at attendance and stuff like that.
Multiple times, which is really
multiple
humiliating.
times, yeah, which you never like that,
Yeah.
you know?
I don't know. It brings weird things out of me, definitely being in airports. I don't know. I've had a lot of really traumatic experiences.
Yeah, seriously. But you're going to be pretty much living not in an airport, but cars, planes, trains, and automobiles for 36.
Hopefully no trains, but we'll see.
Yeah, you never know. When you get back to Chicago, do you know the? Oh no, it's not even a prospective university list. It's just all high schools. So I wouldn't know any of them.
So do you have to organize all your travel too? Is that part of your job?
So that's why. That's partially why this past week has just been hellish because I think I mentioned this last night. Like, I have about 5 to 6 weeks out of the 7.5 weeks where I'm just doing like high school visits that I book, I organize it.
Yeah.
I do all the hotels, rental cars, flights, all that stuff. And you have your list of all the schools, all the programs that you want to visit, but then you physically have to coordinate all that stuff. It's a lot of Google Maps.
Yep.
Okay, how far is this from one to the other?
Yeah.
And it's one thing to have to do that for like 2 or 3 weeks, but to do it for like 5.5 weeks and try to coordinate everything, and oftentimes you're doing 5 visits a day, and it's a lot of driving.
Yep.
It's like, am I going to get lunch today? Probably not.
Yeah.
So do they have a goal of what they like? I mean, are you pushed to meet that many like high schools per day to do that?
Yeah, I mean, there are like averages and guidelines they give you.
Okay.
Some people like really go for it, like myself. Other people are more lax about it.
Sure. Okay.
Because we're not like a punitive office. Like, no one's getting in trouble if they don't hit this goal. It's just like try to do it. So, but yeah, I figure while I'm there, I might as well do as much as I can.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
Killer. Are you seriously running the social media and stuff for your?
It's in flux right now, but once the school year gets going again, I'll kind of oversee the Instagram page.
That's great.
So.
That's great. I know that. I know that there's like no. I mean, they definitely have limitations like on you, right? Like, I mean,
how do you mean?
I don't know. Like what? Because I mean, like, like how Wendy's Twitter feed is it going to be? You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
like,
not at all.
Exactly.
I don't have time for that stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't be trolling.
I mean, most of what my role will be like students who volunteer for our office submit their stuff. I say either yes, let's put it on our site, or no, let's not. So I'm not actually, for the most part, curating or creating.
Oh, good.
content.
Okay, cool.
It's
Cool.
just approval of stuff. So.
Oh, good. Approval. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I'm just in it for the title and the glory. So.
Well, you are. They gotta understand that you're a social media influencer.
Yeah,
seriously.
definitely.
Yeah, my name tag says admissions officer, but I kind of want to give that change to social media influencer. So, because I think that better describes my
Definitely.
my
Yeah.
role.
Exactly.
Look at you.
Look at this.
Yeah.
You know that? Isn't that like a? Isn't that like a alt-right?
It's something.
Something weird, like, not really, like, it's like they say it's alt-right, but it really just means, like, okay, like, good, but, like, people took it as, like, I almost want to say it was, like, that, but I don't think it's, like, that. I think that's, like, over the nose is, like, something weird. Dumb.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm too deep into YouTube, man. I mean, like, seriously, I see stuff all the time that I'm just like, why did I just watch that?
I mean, Trump does a lot of this type of thing. Like,
oh, he does. He does, actually. That's, like, how he kind of, like, gestures, like...
That is weird. You're
John
right.
McCain was like, he can't lift his shoulder or his arms any higher because of like war stuff. Trump is just like
Trump.
This all the
Trump
time.
is like he's like a mime. He's like miming.
It's like a seal. You gotta pretend like you're like flippers.
Yeah. Man, American politics. Weird. We're not going to turn this into an American politics podcast. That would be like what, 5 hours long, 6 hours long, and exhausting. I like these Minnesota Vikings.
Minnesota Vikings coasters, baby.
I know.
Support the team.
Those are nice.
First preseason games tonight.
Nice.
Against
Go
the
Vikes, Denver Broncos.
We saw them against Atlanta, and Atlanta did not play super well against them.
When was that?
Last year, it was for the regular season. I think it just came down to, I think the Vikings scored 1 touchdown or 2, and Atlanta was just trying to keep up with field goals.
The Vikings Falcons. I'm thinking Falcons Broncos. I'm like, I don't know.
No, sorry. No, yeah. No, normally we kicked the Broncos' butt. Like, even whenever, like, Peyton was playing, it was like interception city, like, every time we played him. It was just like a game of baiting him, you know?
Yeah, that Vikings-Falcons game last year was kind of, not stalemate isn't the way I want to put it, but it wasn't. It was like Falcons were never that far behind, but it didn't feel like they were really that close.
It got to a point where at the end of the first quarter, I was like, this game's way over. Like, it's just like, I just can't, like, do anything. And that's why when the Vikings had that amazing win against the Saints, God, I hate the Saints. I'm so glad. Like, I was at the House of Blues in Boston, and I was laughing my ass off. I was like, oh my God. Who were we going to see that night at the House of Blues? Some rock band? Not Young the Giant.
No, it's Walk
they
the
might
Moon.
be Giants. Oh, Walk the Moon.
Walk the Moon. Yeah, we went to go see Walk the Moon, and the bar was playing it, and I was like, oh man, F the Saints, man. Again, the Saints, man. And then that happened, and I was like, oh my God, this is the most Saints moment ever. And I mean, like, as someone who's a Falcons fan who had, like, the famous, like, 28-3 sort of, like, that meme is, like, so dead. It just felt so, like, validating and stuff like that. But then everybody was like, oh, dude, you guys almost beat Philadelphia. Like, you guys were, you know... And, of course, like, it was basically freak accidents that we lost the game pretty much. We couldn't have beat Minnesota if Minnesota came in Minnesota. There. No way. I mean, like, that's not even like a... That's not... We could have beat the Saints. I mean, that seems like a solid matchup, but never against Minnesota. But it's weird how the NFL works like that, because, like, if the Eagles lost to us, we couldn't beat Minnesota, but Eagles came out against Minnesota, and they put up a game I didn't even think was going to happen.
It might have been, like, the most dominating sports performance I've ever seen. I've never seen anything like it.
Because you guys scored first.
Scored on the opening drive.
Yes, and I was like, this is exactly how the game's going to play out. Like, it's going to be like it's going to be 27-20, and Minnesota's going to stop them on a drive because their defense is really good. And instead, I was like, they just put down the gas and just did not stop. And I was like, this is. I mean, it wasn't embarrassing. It was just like a.
Amazing.
It was crazy, and then of course, like, people were like, "Oh, but the Pats are going to beat the Eagles." The NFC is a far superior league than the AFC. The AFC is cupcake every year, hence the reason why the Patriots make it every year. And Bill Belichick just knows how to put a game together. He knows, he understands, like, how to do it, which is good. I mean, that's why he wins Super Bowls. But I don't know.
Football podcast,
man. I'm excited about.
I bet there are no football podcasts out there. You guys could probably be the first one.
There actually is a surprisingly, like people don't really watch, like, I think ESPN, some of the highest rated podcasts for sports and stuff like that, is just dudes that work at ESPN that like to do that. And then Bill Simmons. I think Bill Simmons puts out a good podcast. Yeah. I like his stuff. But hopefully I'm working on that whole Spodcast idea.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm entertained to see that, possibly.
It's going to be messed up.
Have you told Quinn about it?
I have, and I said it's something like Tim and Eric, or like Eric Andre, and he just like, I like Eric Andre, and I'm like, well, it's going to be weird.
Yikes.
So
yeah, it's
the hardest thing is, like, it's like playing characters is something that I don't really do, and like that's kind of what I want to do. And so I'm just kind of like chiseling these things out, and I think my pilot episode is going to be like recapping the whole season of The Bachelorette. It's like a sports podcast.
Yes.
I don't know. Whatever.
I think you should do your spodcast live from a hot tub, so it's like you're in the spa.
Yeah, exactly.
Double meaning.
It's gonna be like a very like retro '70s kind of like
You
feel
do in
and
our
stuff like
trashy
that.
little shower tub that we have.
Oh,
That
Sexy.
would be super cute.
with like the old
the
person
dogs in
rails.
there with you.
Oh,
Yeah. Little candles.
Sometimes
around
our
you.
Sometimes our dogs have jumped into the shower / bath before, without them knowing that it was filled with water. They're kind of idiots.
It's mainly
so.
Monkey. She has brain damage.
She does. She has brain damage.
She's like, oh shit. This is what I thought.
That's what happens when you're from Gunnersville, Alabama, and you literally
Yeah.
have 5 teeth. She
Yeah.
has like
She's
she's a
broken.
dog and she has like 5 teeth. So I don't know what's going on.
She's a Southern
It's a lot of
cliche
Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
in dog form.
She is,
Sure.
yeah. And then Dexter's from Wisconsin, so he's like a well put together Northerner, but like a redneck at heart, and he really loves Scott Walker. So I don't know. That's just
It's a deep
Sweet.
hole.
a deep political hole.
Love me some Scott Walker.
Yeah, man. I don't know. See what else? What else do we got going on? What else is like got that guy stealing airplanes and did they ever figure out if he got shot down or did he crash?
No, he crashed.
Okay.
You haven't read like the transcript online of him talking to the radio?
I did
channel?
hear that, which was really weird. Like he was saying
was really
something like he
depressing,
said,
yeah.
because he was like a mechanic. He was like, and he was just like, yeah, I just like jacked the plane, and I'm just a plain old guy that just realized that he has a couple screws loose.
Yeah.
And I'm ready to be over or something.
Oh,
Or-
really? Is that?
It was like it was like a suicide thing.
Yeah,
like
it's
he was-
pretty
yeah.
pretty upsetting to
Yeah.
read. Yeah.
That's
It's tough
sad.
compared to like what happened is immediately. I mean, like it's America. I mean, this is exactly what you should do. But it was immediately put out there like hijacking, and so apparently, according to people on Reddit that live in the Seattle area, immediately F-16s over everybody's houses, just like they were going. You know what I'm saying? And so what happened was he crashed and did whatever. But it was kind of like they were like, did they shoot him down, or did he? And I guess he crashed it or whatever. But that's pretty wild America stuff, right?
Just
there.
doing some live Snapchatting on the podcast Inception, promoting my own podcast while I'm on your podcast.
Hey,
It's crazy.
Your podcast comes out tonight.
Yeah, it's a podcast for August 11th, which these guys are on. It's already up on SoundCloud and iTunes. It should be on YouTube shortly.
Yeah.
So
does the podcast your RSS feed is your SoundCloud thing?
Yep.
When you put that on there, it just automatically just throws it over to iTunes.
correct.
Awesome.
It
man.
does it
That's
within like 30 seconds.
God, it's so easy.
See, that's what we need to do eventually. But
system
it's
is
like
garbage.
We had a bunch of people that were like, "You guys need to get on iTunes or whatever." I don't have time to actually watch it, which, to a certain extent, it is kind of like video forward. But I was like, sure, I can throw the audio on there. That's like totally fine. But I'm working towards that,
I feel like we're totally not interesting if we don't have at least
I know.
the sad memes.
Well,
that we
because I
added.
haven't I haven't done it yet. But whenever I do like the really cliche intro, like welcome to the Car Ride Convos Podcast,
Yeah.
the only podcast that, and I'm waiting for the time where I say uses shitty meme edits to keep your attention because it's so true. I mean, it's just
I know.
like that's just what we do, and I'm down with it. Like it's what was really crazy is like I was talking to somebody and I was like, when the whole thing was coming together for this idea. And you were like, and of course I'm very dry. I'm very this podcast. That's why I edit this podcast.
Yeah.
It's because it's very like boring and like, let's talk about stock futures and like all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And then you were like, hey, how about like I edit stuff and put stuff like in this? And I was like, I don't know if that's such a good idea. And he showed it to me. I was like, no, that's funny. Like let's just do that. And I think if anything, it's like kind of like a commentary on like how oversaturated the podcast market is. I mean, like
That's true.
literally everyone has a podcast. What's her face? Chris Pratt's ex-wife has a podcast.
Anna Faris.
Anna Faris has a podcast.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you name anybody and they have a podcast, which I just think is so funny because
I
it's
feel
like
like we should. I like you said the other day. I don't feel like ours is technically a podcast because it is so.
it's a weird hybridization. I don't really know. It
Yeah.
is, but it isn't. If anything, it might be just like a long YouTube video. But
just super general.
yeah.
It just exists on YouTube. I don't know what it is.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not like I think if you want to listen, I think then you need to get there. I just haven't. This summer's been brutal. Luckily, you've been chill this summer.
For the most part. Yeah.
I mean, aside from like, was the Alaska trip super hectic?
No, it was pretty relaxing. Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
No, it was. This summer's been pretty good. Now next month will be hell, but
yeah.
No, it's been good.
That's good.
Where in Alaska did you go?
We spent some time in Anchorage.
Okay.
Then we went up to Denali for 2 days, which is
nice.
Straight north of Anchorage, about 150 miles.
Mm-hmm.
And then our last day there, we went to a place called Kenai Fjords, which is straight south of Anchorage, about 90 miles. There's a bunch of like glaciers there and stuff.
Oh, cool. Was that the first time you've been to Alaska?
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to go.
It was. It's my 49th state. It's also the 49th state, so just have to get to Hawaii now. So
I really want to go to
cool.
Hawaii. Like that. Like specifically, I've heard really good things about Maui as like being like a really good like.
I just wish it wasn't so expensive to like get there and be
yeah.
there and like exist there for like, a vacation.
Because
it's super expensive.
Yeah,
It's
because
so
it's one thing
expensive.
like it's flying to Mexico is expensive, but their resorts are not. And then it's like Hawaii's both.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And you want to like be there for long enough to have the experience, but each day you're there is like, here's some more $100 bills.
Right.
Yep,
So,
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I was actually reading a story about how like tourist traffic to Alaska has increased over like the last 5 years, i.e. climate change, which I thought was fascinating and stuff like that. They were like, the weather is super tolerable and stuff like that, and it was like just really good weather.
Yeah.
But the one thing that doesn't change is you were there during the light days. Summer brightness.
Yeah, we were there about a month after the longest day of the year, so it was about 20 hours of sunlight.
20 hours
But
sunlight,
if we went in June, June 22nd is the summer solstice, I think. It's more or less 24 hours. The sun kind of sets, not really.
Yeah, I explained to that someone who is not a STEM major at my old school at University of Alabama. They literally thought I was lying to them. They were like, no. And I was like, they were like a very cliche conservative Baptist person from the South and stuff like that. And they were just like, she was just saying something about like how like the world is, God made the world and stuff like that. And I was like, no. But like this happens though. Like this is like it's just like
this really happens.
This doesn't affect your beliefs at all. This is just a phenomenon that happens.
It's fact.
Yeah,
it's been happening.
Which I just was like, it's just some people just like just numb me to death. Where I'm just like, I have to like this isn't a cartoon.
Like, have you seen 40 Days of Night? But then take away the zombies, and it's like really.
Yeah. They're like, no, but I have seen VeggieTales. It's like great. That helps. That helps.
Totally
a lot.
comparable. Definitely.
There's a lot of weird things about VeggieTales, which I find really, really fascinating. Like how I will imagine a Bible character, and they'll just be like asparagus or like peas, and I'm just like that. Just like it's so funny. You know what I'm saying? Like what it like. Isn't Nebuchadnezzar like a squash or something like
He's
that?
A pickle.
A pickle.
Yeah, he is a pickle.
Yeah, so it's just like there's all these sort of associated
and there's like chocolate. Is there chocolate rabbits in that one or something?
Yeah, chocolate bunnies. Yeah.
I don't remember why. Why is it that way?
Because they worship the like chocolate bunny idol.
That's what it is. Okay, it's been obviously a long time since I've seen that. But
because it's like, but I think what's it called? The idol in the actual Bible is, I think it's Baal. I think. Which is like a golden donkey or like a golden calf or something like that. Mm-hmm. Which I mean, it's just like.
Remember Larry Boy?
I remember Larry Boy. Larry in the rumor weed.
That's what I was thinking. The rumor
weed, man.
The rumor weed is a great lesson.
Yeah, it is. And like, did you ever see the Buttercream Gang?
I don't know that.
No.
Okay,
I know
that's
you
a little
talk
bit far
about that all
off.
the time.
That's a little bit far off.
Is that a focus?
Yeah, I just throw in the rest of the
whatever?
focus feature films or whatever.
Buttercream Gang could mean something very different in like a prison or something.
It could mean. It sounds like something that Johnny Sins would star in, or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Reference some kid.
We were watching some porn earlier.
Yeah, exactly. That's a reference.
Saturday afternoon. What do you guys do on Saturday?
Who doesn't watch porn on Saturday afternoons?
Oh, God.
Some people watch sports. We just
just porn it up, man.
Porn it up, man.
No taking your pants off.
No, that's really weird.
No homo.
No.
That is like a really weird thing, and I don't want to offshoot this into like some sort of X-rated territory and stuff like that. But I'm just gonna say it. I used to know dudes growing up who would watch porn with their buddies.
Yeah,
at their house
like that too.
And like, no, I mean, like it wasn't like they weren't doing stuff with each other, but it was just like recreational. Like
how does one get to that point where you're watching porn with your buddy?
And this is what was super bizarre for me. Was I was like, oh, so like you guys drinking and stuff like that, and they were like, oh no, like we're just hanging out. I'm like, yeah,
what?
That does not sound like a good time. Like that sounds really weird.
That seems very.
That sounds boring.
It sounds boring and kind of creepy, like on the verge of creepy. But
yeah,
I don't know.
creepy is a good word.
Yeah, so I learned that like at a younger age, and I was like, so that exists.
That's awkward.
Great.
I mean, it's almost like the equivalent of just like going to strip clubs with your buddies,
Which is another thing that I don't
I
get
think
that,
it's
man.
weird.
I get that that's so bizarre. Like
I don't understand it.
Like I understood. Like I had a group of friends that ended up in a strip club at the end of the night, but they were somewhere where it was past 2 a.m. and they were past final call, and the only other bar open was a strip club, and it's just like, well, okay, like that's like
Yeah.
whatever. You know what I'm saying? You're not there, but they weren't there for that.
Yeah.
It was just happening in the background and the waitresses or, whatever. But I don't understand, like, let's all go VIP room and, like, sit next to each other. And I'm like,
I don't know.
that's...
Sexual experiences, like, with friends doesn't make sense to me.
No, that seems like a deal breaker for me. That's, wait,
I don't know.
Let me quote,
I don't know.
Let me quote Quinn from a previous podcast. That's a no for me, dog. That's going to be a no for me, dog.
What context did I use that in?
I don't remember, but Erin was just talking about how she was watching the podcast, and she's like, that line cracks me up. And I was like, I don't remember what that was.
Was it during the homeschool one, or was it during the car one?
No, it was in the homeschool one, because I think we were talking about the board of moms or whatever. And that was a sexual reference that during the entire podcast was just this for me, because I was like, I'm not even like... it sounded like something that I would say, like making something that was clearly not, just totally sound weird.
Yep.
And then I said something about something weird, and you were like, nah, that's going to be a no for me, dog. And I was just like...
Yeah. That sounds about right.
Yeah, it was a great line. Very, very great comedic timing.
I mean, I wish I could take credit, but it's Randy Jackson.
Oh, it is Randy Jackson, 100%. Yeah, but still, it's about the comedic timing. You're using a real life meme in real life, or you're using a meme in real life.
Just trying to keep that legacy going. Yeah.
Totally.
American Idol, although I guess it's back now, but it's just not the same.
It is, but it's none of the same people, right?
Seacrest, I think, is still hosting.
Oh,
it.
Of course, because that guy's like
I feel like it's so cringy when you come back and like I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I wonder what Paula Abdul is doing right now.
Oh, she's been out of the game as far as that goes.
I have no idea.
I remember when that show first came back, and not came back, was first up and stuff like that, and just like people being like, Paula is hot. I was like, nope, not at all.
She's like
just,
drunk
like,
or
drunk
coke out
on
of her
coke
mind
the
or
whole
something.
time.
Yeah.
Just totally.
Well, because she was all over some contestant's junk that one time.
What was that kid's name? He had like
Constantine.
Oh yeah.
Jesus.
I remember that guy. Super Greek. Yeah.
Super Greek.
Super not talented. Also.
Yeah.
That was part of the problem.
Let's see what Constantine is doing these days.
Yeah, it's like him and Chris Daughtry were in the same season, right?
Were they?
Maybe.
Yeah. Something like that.
I
feel like Chris Daughtry is in Quinn's like classic like Blagojevich memes. Like that's like who he was just like.
Why?
Because I've seen you say multiple times, like, talk about Chris Daughtry, where you've been like, do you ever wonder what Chris Daughtry's doing right now? And I'm like, wow, that's a name.
I feel like I've never said that in my life.
Who is it then? I could have sworn that was Quinn.
All I think of Chris Daughtry is the fact that
he looks like looks like Dollar Store Brendan Fraser.
He looks like Gollum before he becomes Gollum. Smeagol.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Daughtry was like, last time I heard of him was when he did the theme song to that Utopias.
Oh yeah!
Oh my god! Yeah, totally.
It's 100% like totally.
Crossover to what is
Lord
that
of
guy's
the Rings.
name? Andy Serkis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That Utopia show that didn't really get off the ground.
Yeah, that they sunk so much money into, and it ended up not panning out. Where it was like a live reality show.
Yeah, which I feel like could have been good if people would have given it longer of a chance.
I think it was just kind of before its time.
It could have gotten really interesting.
You know what I found? Like
chicks would have gotten pregnant. It would have been an actual village, and it would have gotten weird.
Would have been crazy. You know what would be really funny is they did the Utopia thing, and they did one where it's like Camp Communism and Camp Capitalism, and you see what, like how it works and stuff like that.
It didn't get into like the nitty gritty of like what an actual like utopia or any type of like segregated village could have been.
Yeah.
It didn't get that far.
That would be fun. Can you imagine like a reality show where there's like a civil war takes place in a certain season? You're like, oh, season 2 where that civil war happens, like crazy.
You'd be like, so and so died.
Yeah, so and so died.
That'd be great.
Get sued.
We watched that in Alabama, I think.
Yeah, we did. We did watch that in Alabama. That was like one of our classic shows we put on. You know, it's like a really weird like being connected to the internet and being on Reddit all the time. That's like. So RuPaul's Drag Race is very big on there, which I'm just like, wow, I didn't know that show was like a big deal. Yeah. You know what's the second big show that's super big on there? Big Brother.
I was just going to say that.
Big Brother is like a huge deal.
Which is crazy because that show has been on literally forever.
Not as long as Survivor, but close.
But close. Yeah, it's got to be close.
Close.
And they have like all these like washed up like sort of celebrities that kind of like
barely celebrities.
Yeah.
Like YouTubers are like more famous than like those people.
I mean, it's kind of the same caliber. But I've never actually watched a whole entire season. I've seen like bits and pieces, but not even enough to like suck me into it. It's just so dumb. It's
crazy.
It is like the epitome of what like reality TV has become is Big Brother.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, what is a big recent reality show that's even like that's not game show related, not like Face Off or like The Four. You know what I'm saying? That's another singing competition show.
I don't know.
I don't own a TV, man. Look around.
No, we don't either. I mean, we do, but we don't have like a. We don't watch
TV. We watch a lot of like.
We watch way too much YouTube.
Yeah,
way too much.
I feel you.
Yeah, that and like
I don't
like
even.
Hulu
Is
and
reality TV like kind of taking like a nosedive? I don't know if it's like.
I guess Kim Kardashian, the Kardashians is like peak reality, I would say, and then like all like the. I guess what everybody's watching right now is Housewives.
There's
Real
like
Housewives.
7 of those.
Exactly, but that's the reason why they're expanding and like they're doing all those things.
Is Queer Eye a reality show? Because I feel like people talk about that all the time.
But that recently made a comeback
on Netflix.
Because that became a thing like at least 5 years ago, right?
Yep,
and then it was like a huge deal, and then I don't even think any of the original like Queer Eye guys are part of it anymore. But it's made like a comeback.
Yeah, which I've heard it's one of Netflix's most recent shows. They're sinking. Netflix is sinking so much money into so much stuff that I'm like, why did you put this out? Like, this is not good content. Like,
Netflix is almost getting too big for their britches. I feel like.
Yeah, a lot of it's just half-assed and just like not seen to the fullest extent, and it's just like
some of the movies that are coming out now is like bad.
I understand some of them because some of them are trying to cast a wider net and be like, well, this is like a Tyler Perry type movie, and this is like a there's one starring all Indian people and stuff like that. And they're like, I can see they're kind of pushing the label to try to go global because I've seen like their stand-up and stuff like that. Their stand-up is very globally diverse and stuff like that. I understand that, but it's just like it's a lot. It's a lot, my dude. But maybe reality's dead. And I've heard a lot of things like this. Like, it's not dead; it just lives on YouTube and Twitch. You know what I'm saying?
Like actual reality.
Yeah,
like
people who
really reality, not like this. Produced reality.
Because it's like it's really weird because somehow that content is super consumable. You go to the in real life section of Twitch, and you're like, wow, a lot of this is just this guy walking around to go get groceries for later on where there's going to be a party when he's still streaming 6 hours later. It's like, yeah, but people want this. People want to
garbage, though.
It is. I personally don't like the content. But
part of me feels like that there's so many people out there that are so sucked into, well, millennials, for example, who maybe live in their mom's basement or something, and they don't have any friends, that they think like that is the epitome of like hanging out with someone that they know.
True.
The whole live stream thing.
It could be.
I'm trying to figure out where is the audience for the live stream. Because so much of it is just, it literally is day to day. Like, you're watching someone have like a meal at like some random cafe. It's like, why is this interesting?
Yeah.
But I feel like maybe there's that, where there's people that are so sucked into like their internet life and their like social media that they just, like, that is, like, quote-unquote, like, their friend and their interaction, and that's their, like, socialization of the day. It's, like, something.
But I find it redeemable because it's not fake reality television, where it's like, oh, this is real. It's like, no, that's not. Like, literally, Kim Kardashian's pitching you something over the television, like, for you to buy. Like, it's like, it's an infomercial, as opposed to, like, I do understand the weirdness of the in-real-life streaming stuff, but it gives me hope that it's consumable content to people, because I'm like, okay, so you get that, you understand, you're okay with the boringness. Yeah. This is boring. Like, this is not fun. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. It's just one of those things.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
It's, what a bizarre, we're at peak dystopia right now.
Where does it go from here is what I want to know. If there's weird, stupid shit, like, what was that, like, Buddy Retard or whatever you follow, garbage content on Reddit.
Greatest subreddit ever.
How do you get any worse than that content?
I don't, well, I mean,
it's gonna
surreal memes are pretty
personal
bad.
challenge.
Just
you wait.
Yeah, we'll figure something out.
It scares me a little bit to be like, what's worse? And then someone's like, oh, I'll show you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to know.
You got to think of, like, surreal and, like, you got to think of surreal and like, subreddits like, okay, Buddy Retard, in the same way that, like, these stand-up comedians were like, oh, howdy doody, knock knock, who's there? And then Andy Kaufman shows up and he starts begging for money in front of people as his stand-up bit, and people were like,
well, and he, you know, in all reality, he really was so ahead of his time.
Oh, 100%.
Because in today's day and age, he would have been, like, just the pinnacle of comedy.
People still think Andy Kaufman now is peak comedy because they're like, this guy is the only person who would do a bit and then double down on it.
Yeah. Which is,
I mean, like,
it hurts my soul, but I think so many people just thrive off of that stuff.
And then you watch the documentary about Jim Carrey playing Andy Kaufman, a comedian. Jim Carrey was a previous comedian, and he gets it, and he did that, and he was an a-hole about the whole thing. Yeah. But that's the point. Like, that's like the whole thing. Oh, crushing it, man! Nice, crushing it.
I feel like if you're an artist like Picasso, for example, who a lot of people don't know, like, was actually into, like, realism paintings and that type of thing, was very talented in realism and portraits that he would do, and then just found it boring, that he would go into, like, this cubism and all this, like, abstract stuff that he finally became famous for. Yeah. And it's like, but that's not art. It's like, yeah, but it was, because he was just totally going out of his comfort zone.
Yes.
And then you think of, like, Andy Kaufman, who probably found regular comedy to be, like, this is so base level that I'm trying to, like, reach a very uncomfortable, like, I'm doing my own thing, reaching a level that is not met by other people because I'm making them so uncomfortable. But I'm also not ever reaching out of, like, showing people that this is part of my comedy. I'm just, always living in this moment of, like, he is so creepy and uncomfortable.
Very creepy.
Yeah.
Like, because what was it on, I think it was on Johnny Carson's show that he got out and he said, like, he came out and they're like, and, you know, he's gonna do stand-up, and Andy, do you know who Andy Kaufman is?
Yeah.
Okay. And he came out and he was just like, everybody thinks he's gonna do, like, the weird Elvis impersonation or, like, the taxi guy or whatever, you know? And he comes out, he's like, hey, listen, guys, like, and he's, like, almost crying, and he's just like, I've fallen on tough times, like, I don't know how to make rent, and, you know, I'm not getting booked for gigs anymore and stuff like that, and he just starts going out in the crowd and begging for money.
It's so cringy.
And then they kick him out because they're like, what the hell are you doing on live television? And it was just, comedy gold, baby. It's so good.
Well, that's the thing. It's like this deep-seated, like...
it's just so messed up.
People have a really fucked up sense of humor.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, people... I don't know. There's people out there that really like Kevin Hart, and there's other people that just want to see... people do weird shit like that.
I know. I feel like it's interesting to think, like, especially comedy has different levels, because you think, like, funny is funny, but it's like, no, I feel like there's, like, this weird level. As the internet gets deeper, you find, like, these weird, like, buddy retard things that just takes you to a place that you're
just
scared
like, what the heck? Yeah, which is funny, because I just signed into OK Buddy Retard today. I was just checking it out. And the first thing I saw was, like, you know, the Lightning McQueen, like, I'm going to rape Donald Trump thing. Someone animated that, and it's literally just, like, Lightning McQueen just, like, on the... I'm just like, oh, my... Like, what is this? And like a lot of them is like they're memeing like Ben Shapiro, if you know who Ben Shapiro is.
Oh my God.
That like I guess Ben Shapiro's telling people on Twitter to stop saying like, okay, now that was epic, because people keep on saying that to his stuff, and he's like, it's super weird and like all this stuff, and I'm like,
do you understand that stuff?
No.
Okay.
It's super messed up.
I just look at it and I'm like, I don't know why this is funny, and it scares me a little bit that you think this is funny.
Oh, it's like,
and I don't get it.
The funny thing is like people like are like, you know, what is it? And I was like, imagine comedy, but imagine how you would laugh at things if you had a brain injury. Okay, now that's like what that is.
Why is that? Like, I
don't know. It's so dumb. It's so dumb.
It's like, is that a higher level of comedy, or is that like a lower level of comedy? Like,
it's lower.
Yeah.
I would say lower. And the
Yeah.
thing is like just kind of like, I mean, it's not like gimmicky comedy. Like, let's see, who would I throw in the gimmick category of comedy? I mean, I don't want to.
In Mall Cop. What's his name?
No, I wouldn't say he's got.
You don't think that's gimmicky?
Slapstick. I don't know.
I feel like that
kind
is,
of.
and the fact that he's
I don't
trying to
want
like relive his whole King of Queens.
But
What's
like,
that guy's name?
Kevin James.
Yeah,
Kevin James.
James.
But I don't want to do that with like, and then throwing people in there like, oh well, like, you know, Dimitri Martin's shtick is like writing things. It's like, well, there's a little bit of comedy in that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, like what is there's a gimmick, I guess. I don't know who maybe everybody who's like just out there right now is not gimmicky. I don't know.
I feel like the epitome of you not really understanding comedy is the fact that you're trying to go off of something that was funny at one time in your life, and now you're trying to relive that same joke.
Okay.
That's what I think, because then it's like, do you even understand how comedy evolves, for one?
Yeah.
And two, the fact that you're trying to like piggyback off of a comedic role or character or whatever.
It's like if Adam Sandler came out there and just kind of like started doing his like weird little like you
right.
like
that's what
sort
I
of,
mean.
Yeah,
I feel like Kevin.
All right. Yeah.
I keep wanting to say Kevin Hart.
Kevin James. Yeah.
The other Kevin.
I just say Kevin Hart because Kevin Hart is like right now like killing it and like super commercialized, and he's peak billionaire comedy right now.
He's not exhausting anything yet, because he's just Kevin Hart is like Kevin Hart is just a baseline.
I think Kevin Hart's a great. I like him in movies. Like I prefer him as an actor. I just wish people utilize people better, but that's all of Hollywood, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know. I think you get to a certain point.
When are they going to cast the Beantown podcast, man? Like, when is that going to happen, dude?
The whole podcast.
The whole podcast.
The whole thing.
All the producers and all the interns.
Yeah.
The whole team.
By the way, did you catch our intern on the podcast the other day?
The dog, yeah.
The dog? No, not the dog.
Oh no, gets
another intern.
No.
It's so weird.
No. Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. It's just like it's just an inside joke.
Edit all of this out.
Yeah.
It's cringy to talk about.
No.
I must not have been paying
It's
attention.
one of those moments in my life, again, that I'm like, wait a minute. So when I work, 4 extra hours of overtime a week, like, this is what you spend our money on, Ryan? And then that becomes the intern.
Yeah,
Did you get an 11th Street hooker to be an intern?
That would be hilarious. That would be funny.
It's like exactly, but sort of.
But sort of.
It's more on the same stream of, like, the very generous gift that Ryan gave you.
It was very generous.
Kind of. So basically, what I found out was for $12, I could pay a guy on Fiverr to dress up as a doctor and say, subscribe to the Car Ride Convos Podcast or you will die from AIDS. And I put him at the end of the podcast.
Yeah.
Of the Sisters episode?
Yes. It's on there.
Go back.
It's on there. Take
a listen. Take a view.
It's so jacked up, my dude. Like I was like, there's no way. Like there's like $12 is like such a little. And he sent me the video, and I was like, oh my god, you. And it happened. So that's like peak existence for me was when I discovered the internet. I was like, whoa.
But
like,
from my perspective, you have to understand, like, when I'm like at work for 2 extra hours and I'm like legitimately actively being pinched by an old woman who has dementia, who doesn't know what we're doing for her, putting in a pacemaker, and I'm getting physically abused for 2 hours, and you're like, hey, this is what I put our money towards. And I'm like, oh
no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
I was like surprised how cheap it was. Like I thought, I was like, oh, like if I did this as a job, I'd be like
what a weird
$50, $80 like a pop. Like you want me to promote your stuff? Like that's what you're gonna pay me.
Part of me wants to like oh god, part of me wants to pay like Jake Paul just say something so stupid.
I know.
I mean, the fact that he even puts himself out there to say that.
Oh yeah, you found it.
Kill him.
Wait, is that subtitled?
Yeah.
Wait, what is it?
Someone is subtitling our videos?
Who is?
Apparently.
It's done on a volunteer basis.
Wait, us?
Yeah, everybody's videos get like, yeah, I mean, if they're around, yeah, that's really weird. I did not know that was the thing.
It's not me.
No, I would
Wow.
never do that.
We've made it. We've made it.
No,
We're subtitled
everybody. The funny thing is when people will do comedic subtitles, like people will actually like do funny
that's
stuff.
even better.
Yeah.
I want that.
Yeah, I guess that's like a job that Google like employs and stuff. Actually, I've heard from two sources. I've heard that it's a volunteer basis where people do it, but I've also heard from Kyle that it's all done with AI, and it's all like whenever you're like.
Wait, what makes it comedic if it's done with AI?
Well, see, that's why I think it's more volunteer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he says it's more like AI based, where it's like, whenever you're doing things and you're like, let's see. Are you a robot? What is this? And it's like you're like, oh, that's a word.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's not the same thing. You'd actually have to listen to it to actually like, that's how it work. Huh? But basically like, the weird thing was I didn't know about AI is like, when you're doing things where you're like, are you a robot? And they're like, click on the thing that's a stop sign. You're actually, that's from the Google self-driving car. And you're like teaching it how to identify what a stop sign looks like. And like, click on all the cars. And it's like, teaches you to, you're basically helping Google out, which is crazy.
We're all going to be murdered by robots one day.
I know.
That's kind of a cool way to die.
Yeah.
Beats cancer, I guess.
Hey, I'm ready to go out in a blaze of glory, man.
Or polio.
Yeah.
I mean, polio is kind of I feel like we're past polio.
We're past
the iron
polio.
lung of polio. Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, then again, in California, I feel like it's making a very sad comeback. So who knows? I don't know.
I cannot, that's one thing that I think that Facebook is the worst invention in human history, because I go on there and I'm like, oh, wow, I know 5 people who don't believe in vaccines.
Yeah, and they tell me about it like 7 times a day.
Yep, and I'm like, that's peak, not reading. Can't read.
Yeah, it's painful.
Just read a pathology book. That's all it takes.
God.
Yeah, actually, I was going to ask you. I didn't know this. What is the age difference between your brother and sisters?
Oh,
This is so
like
random.
So random.
Rundown?
No, I know, because I totally forgot, because it's like, I think you were asking me how much older I am, or what is, maybe
I'm
somebody.
sure I didn't care about that.
No, I know, but
Who cares about that?
no, I'm just curious.
My oldest brother is born in 89. My next one's born in 92. And I'm born in 95. And then my sister's 96.
Wow, that's major.
She is
That's
the
major
same age as
gappage.
Lauren.
Like that's like.
We have a kind of a major gappage. I know there's
Yeah, you
only
do
3
too,
of
yeah.
us, but like Aaron and I are I think a year and 9 months, and then Lauren and I are like 8 years, and Aaron and Lauren are 10 years.
Wow.
She was a surprise baby.
Yay.
Jazz hands.
Yeah, exact jazz hands surprise, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
You know what's kind of funny about that is like
What?
Aaron and I like prayed for Lauren to show up. Like we always wanted a baby sister, and then like one day we went to lunch one day, and my mom was like literally 40 or 41, and she was like, "So I'm I'm pregnant," and we were like, "Yay!" And my mom was like horrified because she was like already in her 40s.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think that's the weird thing, that like that stigma is like pretty much dying. Like 40-year-old women giving birth is not that big of a deal. Yeah. I didn't know that because Tom Segura and Christina P.
Yeah.
She had both of her kids post 40, which I did not know. I was like, oh.
I think it's just, I guess, the quality of life of the baby. Like, who the hell wants a newborn at 40 years old?
Oh,
like,
I mean, I don't.
Thinking about having a newborn at 29 makes me kind of want to, like...
Yeah.
40 is another story, I guess.
Yeah.
But
it's crazy.
Who am I? I don't know.
I don't
like
know.
Kids, so it's my problem.
We've talked enough about babies on the podcast. I mean, like, that's like a whole...
That's probably how we lose subscribers. It's the baby.
They talked about babies
Anti-baby, like when we did the baby leash memes that I edited in.
Baby leash? Oh, yeah.
Baby leash.
I forgot. Yeah.
Those were funny. I found those
very, very good. A lot of work, a lot of good work in there. But, I mean, like, why are baby leashes socially acceptable, man?
How else do you tame a baby when you're 40 years old? I don't know. Leash.
You can't.
Leash it like a dog.
Leash him.
Leash that bitch.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know.
Someone's had drinks.
Yeah. Sorry. This is number 3.
This is number 3.
Yep.
So what's the game plan for tonight? What are we doing?
I figure we'd go back to the strip clubs on Baltimore Ave.
Nice. The Hustler
what
Club
I
and like
think.
the
11th
Lust.
Street hookers. Yeah.
Actually,
Do strip clubs serve ice cream? Because I would show up at any of those that actually have
They
Actually-
serve some sort of cream, but
No, I need like not human produced.
Kristen's getting creamed either way.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
No, thank you.
No, I don't think the strip clubs serve ice cream traditionally.
Why not?
It's a bring your own cream type of place.
Okay, serious question though. Do strip clubs serve food, or is it just
Sometimes,
a drink
yeah,
type
sometimes.
of thing?
Depends on the strip club. I've never been in a strip club,
So
so
if
I
they
don't
serve
know.
Never
food,
either.
they don't have any type of dessert item?
They could.
So they may have actual ice
I
cream.
think dessert is up on
doesn't-
stage dancing.
Dessert. Nice.
Oh, okay.
Zinger.
Well, I tried. I feel like a basic
Yeah, well,
like
we'll go
soft
get
serve.
some ice cream.
ice cream sundae.
And,
There's got to be somewhere around here that has ice cream.
No,
we
we've
can
got a
walk
place
to.
we're going to.
Nice.
We'll get some chow at some point. And
Yeah.
Nice.
Otherwise, maybe go find a place to drink. I don't know.
Sounds good to me.
It's got to
no
be somewhat
plans.
colder outside, right? It's maybe not.
Colder?
No,
Colder?
Absolutely
probably
not.
Absolutely not.
No,
It's
it's the exact
5:20.
same.
Baltimore.
All right.
No, not until the
Sun
goes
is setting,
down.
so it's just.
We even
hot
got
and
here
warm.
last night at like 10:30, and it was like I was like, oh, it's humid out here.
But it wasn't painfully hot.
No.
It wasn't great, but
It was just warm because it was humid. That's all.
Yeah, it's still going to be warm.
Yeah.
It's about 88 degrees right now.
Ugh,
Feels like 95.
God. Oh my God. It's
Nice.
disgusting.
It's not raining, though. It's supposed to be raining by now. Nothing.
To all the people though that think that New England or any type of area out here is like relatively colder than the South is like complete bullshit.
Yeah, it's hot. It's hot.
We had
all
friends
the time.
come visit us that were like, "Oh my God, it's so hot in Boston." It's like, yeah, it's horrible out here.
Yeah, it's
Maybe not as humid as like, you know, where we lived again in Alabama, northern Alabama.
Yeah.
But it's still garbage.
I think coldest place
garbage weather.
coldest place I've ever been probably like that's just like oh wow it is cold here is San Francisco in the summertime.
Yeah.
That's
right,
cold. Like
surprisingly.
that is really cold.
Yeah.
Because they get that like
60s.
breeze. From,
Yes. Everywhere else, it's
yeah.
hot
Midwest-
everywhere, man.
Midwest and even out east is
It's
not
just
as
hot
cold as
everywhere,
you
man.
think
There's
it
no
is. I
escaping
know.
it.
Yeah.
And then you go to Arizona, and it's like, oh, it's a dry heat, and it's like, yeah, I mean, I get that. I mean, I prefer that to humidity, but
It's true.
It's hot.
115 doesn't feel as bad as like
Yeah.
80 and 95% humidity in the
Yep.
Midwest.
Yeah,
But still, it's still not, doesn't feel great.
yeah, you know, it is what it is.
Let's all move to Hawaii now that we said how expensive it is to live there.
Let's move to Hawaii.
Yeah.
I just showed you that video the other day of that centipede, right, in Hawaii.
Oh, forget it. Cross that out.
Yeah.
Never mind, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
Tasty.
I don't like bugs.
yeah, very crazy.
Did you guys have bed bugs in Alabama?
Yes.
Oh my god. So,
Yeah.
you've seen Harry Potter movies, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember the one where, like, Ron starts, like, coughing up all those, like, slugs?
Yeah.
So, we didn't know this until, obviously, we lived there, that when it gets rainy, these weird green slugs that were like, literally almost the size of the ones that he was coughing up, that were, like, this big and, like, you know, yay big, came out of the ground when it starts to rain. And it's,
Yep.
like, 170% humidity. Disgusting.
Yeah.
We take the dogs outside and like there was all these green slugs all over the ground. And then one of our apartments when we like hit like the utter epitome of like just collapse of
Yeah.
humanity in Alabama, we lived in an apartment that had cockroaches and they were like legit sized cockroaches and that one almost attacked Monkey when she was like a baby.
I know.
And it was almost as big as her, I feel like.
Yeah,
which
she
is-
freaked out, which was so
Yeah.
funny. 'Cause she's such a
So-
tough kid.
I feel like that was probably the worst of bugs. I'm trying to think of like mosquitoes or... I mean, there was a decent amount of mosquitoes. The slugs, the cockroaches. I don't really... What else did we have?
Fire ants.
Yeah, we had
Snakes.
ants at that one place. At our first place, I
Yeah.
think we had ants for
Yeah,
a little while,
fire
which I
ants.
don't know why.
Yeah.
Then again, when we lived in Rockford, that 1 year of mayflies was bad.
And up in Roscoe, where they were basically covering like the lamps and stuff. It was
you got
brutal.
out to get gas, and you were like,
yeah, it was nasty.
And I was dating Ryan at the time, so I was like, "Can you pump my gas for me, please?" Because I was like,
yeah,
it means something else at the strip club.
I know. Yeah, exactly. Pumping gas is different at a strip club,
right? But a horny teenager will do whatever it takes to get a little bit of something.
Classic Ryan.
Yeah, classic Ryan. That's what he does.
I know, and I'm such a bitch that I let you do that.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
In the midst of bugs.
What a disgusting human. No,
I'm not going to deny that.
It's funny. I don't even you make such a big deal about that sort of stuff. I don't even think I'm just like whatever.
I just
don't
hate
even...
bugs, so for me it's like a huge deal to make someone else go out in the bugs. The mayflies.
Yeah. There's snakes and all sorts of stuff.
Snakes. We had a lot of snakes, but I just don't feel like snakes are that big of a deal. I know for some people they are, but I feel like snakes in Alabama, we saw quite a few of them.
I remember the coolest snake I saw was the some sort of mud snake I used to read up on when I was a kid that had a very pointy kind of hardened in tail, and I was like, that's so cool. I've seen one in real life, and it was like a baby. It was awesome.
I feel like we saw a lot of snakes at our second apartment in Alabama. There was a lot of snakes around there.
Well, that and we'd go hiking and we'd see a lot of snakes. So,
that too.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys have... We just saw a giant roach outside of... We saw Aladdin on Broadway... No, and,
downtown Boston.
In downtown Boston. And there was this huge roach that was terrifying everybody outside because it's connected to kind of Chinatown and stuff like that. And so Chinatown's notorious for giant, huge bugs. Do you guys have roaches and stuff out here at all?
Not really. No, we have a lot of rats in Baltimore.
Oh,
yep.
Rats.
Rats. Yeah, rats are a big deal.
No, I haven't really had noticed any roaches, which is nice. So
yeah.
Have you had bugs or anything pests in here? Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, that's good.
Nothing.
Mosquitoes or anything?
I had mice in...
Not in the city, no.
That's good.
That's not bad.
I know, yeah. We don't have mosquitoes, luckily, which is nice.
Have we ever had mice? Did we have mice in our Alabama apartment? We didn't, did we?
Nope.
Too many snakes.
No.
Yeah, to tame the mice.
Kyle told me that...
Eat the mice.
Kyle told me that in Rockford, whenever him and his buddies were all living together, my brother, they had mice so bad in one of the houses that I think he said that they caught and killed 20-plus ones, and I was like, that's really bad. That's as bad as I ever...
When I was in Chicago recently...
Yeah.
And my roommate was petrified of mice, so that was kind of a pain in the ass, because, I literally woke up in the middle of the night hearing something... This was post, Christmas vacation, so I had a box of candy, which I should have known better than to put on the ground. I woke up in the middle of the night hearing basically a mouse, eating through my candy on the ground. Turn on the light, see this thing, shoot underneath my bed and into my closet,
Yikes.
and then run out underneath the door. So I stuffed it with a towel so I could at least sleep because I had to work the next day.
Yeah.
But she was petrified, so God forbid she were to see one or find one. I think we at least found 3 or 4 that winter.
Yikes.
Which was, I don't not I love mice, but I would rather have a mouse than a cockroach. It was.
True.
But she was petrified, so it was escalated so much more. Mm-hmm. When I came home one day and she had it she's like, so there was a mouse here. It's under the bowl. It's in the kitchen. I think it's still alive. And then I picked up the bowl and it was trapped underneath a trap, but it had only smashed its butt and it was still moving. A little traumatizing.
Yeah, I don't like that stuff. I don't like animals.
And Catherine, when I lived with Catherine there was mice at that house too.
Yeah.
Among all the other
there's all sorts of stuff in that house. That house sucked.
Maintenance.
That was not fun. I was like,
if you're renting out a place, take care of your shit. That's all that I feel like.
Yeah.
God.
This place seems pretty well maintained, which is nice.
It's not bad.
Pretty low key, pretty old.
Yeah, it's nice. The Madison. Yeah. I'm assuming former hotel, probably.
Maybe. I have no idea. I don't know anything.
Me neither.
Sleep here.
I just sleep here.
That's true.
The layout isn't bad though. It's more interesting than just a basic. You have 2 closets. I feel like that alone is a huge deal.
Yep. That's what you need, man. You need 2 closets.
That's why I got it. I said I'm going to
and
need
you have
those
this
2
little
closets.
nook, which is interesting.
I love a good
attached
nook.
to the bathroom, which isn't horrible. It's small. I mean, it's not horribly small though.
Is that where you bust out your podcast? Is that desk?
No, on the toilet usually. Yeah. No, I always
whatever
podcast
works.
live from the flower chair.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
I used that desk a ton
Nice.
in grad school. Like that's where I wrote all my papers and stuff. And since moving here, it's just a place to like set stuff. Like I never sit there. I always sit on the chair. Laptop's here. Eat dinner. Watch a Cubs game. Go to bed.
Yeah. Do you have to do like a master's thesis at all for your?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. That's fun. How many words or pages was that?
It's about 75 pages,
Oh my god.
which is pretty like average length for a master's thesis.
Yeah,
So.
that's a lot.
The tough thing with our program was you only had 9 months to work on your thesis. Most master's programs give you almost 2 years.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
And it's kind of
So
like
it was pretty quickly churned out.
interesting.
So yeah,
That's nice.
it was okay.
75 pages.
The research itself was terrible. Like I had no support or anything. It was just like, here, go do this.
What did you do your thesis on?
I interviewed students who had done like dual enrollment or dual credit, so like going to Rock Valley or other community colleges while they were in high school. And I was trying to look at how that experience impacted their college search and what college they eventually attended. Basically, does it make you want to go attend, like, just keep going to that community college after graduation because you know your credits are going to be good, or like go to a place like NIU or ISU or something where you know they're going to take your credits? Or does it make you think, wow, I can handle college classes, I'm really smart, I'm going to go to like a really nice top research institution?
Yeah.
And I found for the most part kids stay close. They go to an institution where they know their credits will be good.
Oh, good.
So,
That's, I mean, safe.
it was a frustrating research project, but
Oh, yeah.
it's over now.
It's over. It's finished.
I got my degree.
Yeah.
There you go.
Nice.
I keep meaning to put it up, hang it up on my wall in my office, and it's still sitting in the Bacardi box. So,
Is it really? Nice. Nice.
yeah.
That's awesome. Man, Bacardi. Did you buy all that Bacardi?
No, I was like moving out of my apartment my senior year of college into the apartment I lived in grad school, and I was just like one box short, and one of the people still living in that apartment just like had that box lying around, and so I was just like, I'm just gonna take this.
There you go.
Nice.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah, I've never. I see guys sometimes go to like liquor stores and like buy bulk stuff like that. I'm like, who is this person? Like, what are they doing?
I don't know.
Big
It's like,
house parties.
I feel bad for you.
Yeah.
I feel like you go through a lot of stuff that you have to drink all this Bacardi.
No, they're probably just a party. I don't know. Yeah, I
I don't know. Not when you see somebody buy liquor alone. Like, who goes out to like an alcohol run like alone?
I did last night.
I was gonna say I do that a lot.
Okay.
Who am I gonna bring with
All
to
right.
get liquor?
Fine.
I don't
All
have
right.
friends.
Okay. See, that's what's so sad.
Yeah,
All right, fine.
we all don't have friends. It's fine.
It's time we watched the Zootopia that was sitting in the wheelchair.
We have to. We know it's not Zootopia.
We're not watching Zootopia.
All right, fine.
All right. Well, man, we're hitting that hour and 15-minute mark.
Damn.
That's a while.
Yeah.
We don't even count time at that point. It's been a while. So, thank you, Quinn David Furness of the Beantown Podcast.
Yeah.
Check him out on
Thanks for having
YouTube
me.
and iTunes and SoundCloud and maybe in 2019 Spotify. Who knows?
Maybe. I'm on Player FM.
Player
I don't
FM.
really know what that is, but I'm on it.
Wow.
There we go.
You're so much
Automatically,
more
I just
sophisticated than us.
pop up.
Killer.
So.
Killer. Check him out on all those places. Find him on, find him on Facebook. Friend request him personally. He'll keep you up with all sorts
Sometimes.
All right.
I have some outstanding friend requests from people who I have no mutual friends with, and I'm like, probably not.
of. Yeah, you always look into it. You're like, oh, you live in somewhere in Thailand. Probably no. Like,
Yeah,
It's
or
always the people who
Philippines.
created their profile picture is like 3 days old. And they
Yes.
have that one picture.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's the deal here?
Yeah.
I'm
that's
getting a lot of
scary.
girls that are
That's
like,
the
there's a lot of
situation.
cleavage going on that I'm like, this is a
Love some
trap.
cleavage.
Like,
What?
this is yeah. I'm getting a lot of friend requests like that. I'm like, whoa,
All right.
you're looking for something. I don't know.
Yeah, I got one of those the other day, but it was just Kristen. So
Nice.
I mean, what can I say? Sometimes
Yeah.
I get really
risque on the
I
Facebook.
do. Yeah, I branch out a little bit.
Mm.
Show a little titty.
Yeah. All right. Well, we will catch you on the next one. Hopefully you enjoyed, and have fun.